Haven't done one of these in a while, but man, what a way to start a year. What's going on, everyone? It's Rich Haywood here for Bacon Ice Cream Productions and Team RTFC, welcoming you to yet another episode of the Good Times Newsline Flashcast. Yeah. Now, we have done Good Times Newsline Flashcasts pretty recently, but not about your friend and mine, the Evercade. And the reason why is because, to be honest, well, I don't know. Maybe I was slow on news, didn't see news, whatever. We were covering the stuff that normally came out. You know, we covered the Game of the Months and, you know, we were doing all that kind of stuff. There wasn't anything really huge news-wise, right? No new release of hardware. We already had the Dukes and all that kind of stuff. That was back in June of 23, you know, with the announcements and all that stuff. But something happened yesterday. Yes, and I got wind of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to get on in here with a little Evercade news update, and we're going to check this out, shall we? All right, so if we go over to the evercade.co.uk blog, we find this. It's a cool picture. It is also corresponding with an article entitled Evercade Features Update January 2024. Yeah, we're going to go through this because, man, this is pretty epic. But anyway, let's take a look. The January 2024 update brings, wow, I need to talk today. The January 2024 update brings many new features to the Evercade VS and EXP systems, so we thought we'd take you through some of them in a bit more depth. Note, please make sure before you update your console, you read the patch notes for the Evercade VS and EXP, which we will check in a second, to see if any changes will affect your saved games and take any appropriate actions needed before you update. So please don't rush and hit the buttons. Let's check this out and then go and rush and hit buttons. Okay, cool. So TurboFire. That's a cool feature. It's been in the community requests for a while. In beta right now. After many community requests, we have been working on implementing a TurboFire feature into Evercade systems. Holding down a TurboFire button simulates rapidly pressing the regular fire button, allowing multiple shots to be fired quickly in succession without having to repeatedly press the button. Things that I would have really liked to have in Totalplan when I was doing the Totalplan Arcade 2 stuff on the Evercast. Anyway, this is something that many third-party controllers for classic controls used to implement, and some modern arcade game conversions also incorporate as a way to make them easier on the wrists, or in some people's opinions, cheat. Yeah, I know. Sometimes it's like, you know, people consider that, you know, that's cheap and, you know, like, oh, it's cheating, whatever. But, you know, I know sometimes you just got to do what you got to do, right? All right. And there's TurboFire automatically shoot, you know, shoot by holding a button instead of, okay, cool. Yeah, we got it, right? We know what a TurboFire is, hopefully. This new feature requires a lot of work on individual games, so at present, TurboFire is only implemented on the following arcade games only, and it is a fairly short list, and it is all arcade games. So, let's go through it. It's Battle Lane Volume 5 on Technos Arcade 1. It's the only one on Technos that it looks like it's there. Breakthrough and Darwin from Data East Arcade 1. P-47 Phantom Fighter and Saint Dragon from Jalico. Battle Chopper from IREM 1. And In the Hunt and R-Type, I should say, also. Ooh, R-Type, that's pretty cool. Very cool, very cool. Totalplan Arcade 1, Alcon, Flying Shark, Tiger Hilly, and Truxton, and Zero Wing, all getting updates with that TurboFire button, which is kind of cool looking. Fire Shark, Hellfire, Twin Cobra, and Twin Hawk from Totalplan Arcade 2. Also getting that little TurboFire update, which is kind of cool. All right. So the default TurboFire button is Y on Evercade controllers and handhelds, and in some cases, there are two distinct fire buttons. X will also fire the secondary shot using TurboFire. The TurboFire buttons are not mappable using the button mapping feature, okay? So it's going to wind up being Y up top and Y up top and the X over here for the secondary button. Okay, cool. At present, TurboFire is not mappable on the Evercade EXP's Tate mode. That's a kind of a bummer, but will work as normal in normal landscape mode, as well as in Tate mode on the Evercade VS, Additional game support and improvements to this feature will be added over time, so it should be considered in beta for now. So obviously they got it working up to a certain extent. So rather than having being a full release, we've got that. So, and to be honest, I'm gonna go ahead and grab something while we're doing this, and we might go in and take a live look at the end of this Newsline on Toa Plan. So we'll do Twin Hawk or Twin Cobra. We'll do one of those before the end. We'll click that button. All right, cool. Let's move on because there's more. High Scores Beta. We have now made an update to support arcade games which save your scores, your high scores automatically without having to use save states. This means whenever you exit the game and return to it later, your high scores will be just as you left them, which is awesome. It's kind of like having an actual arcade cabinet, right? This means you no longer have to manually save your arcade hide game scores using the Evercade Save Game feature. This new feature will not work on certain arcade games as some titles do not have the facility to retrieve save scores. This is usually due to a limitation of the original arcade hardware. So, I mean, it's one of those things where I think that means like if the ROM was one of those ROMs there where you unplug the power and then you plug it back in, somehow the ROM didn't hold the high scores or just blanked itself. So those, it was never implemented in the machine, so it's not going to work. All right, cool. Further updates will come in the future to improve support and add compatibility where needed. At present, this feature should be considered in beta until completed. Okay, so just like the Turbo Fire, it's a work in progress. High scores for an individual arcade game will only be saved after successfully recording your first high score following the update. That's important. You don't have to top the high score table. You just have to make it into the rankings. High scores will save directly to the cartridge, and they will persist between Evercade devices. Please note that previous save states are incompatible with this feature. So if you have a save state and you load it to then try to run another score because you like that, whatever, it's an arcade game. So I don't know why you would do that with save states, but whatever, some people might do that. It's not going to work. So you have to go in blind and then do that and then get a high score and then save it. And then it saves to the cartridge and then you can take it between Evercade devices, which is cool. So it's weird that it says just Evercade devices like globally, because I don't think that feature, because it's in the firmware of an Evercade EXP and VS. I don't think we're talking original anymore, but I mean, it might be. Who knows? Okay, so record a high score, supported game. They'll be there the next time. Okay, so cool. You can have the Katie CDY. That's kind of fun. All right, a full list of supported cartridges and built-in games is below. Again, please note that some individual games do not support saving at this time. And it says Technos Arcade 1, all 10 cartridges. I'm not going to even go through the list. It's all 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes. And the built-in Capcom titles for the Evercade EXP are also included in this kind of cool thing, which is awesome. And it says, so get out there and start bragging your rights against your friends, which is cool. So that's neat. And I think it's also maybe, just maybe, a little hint at what might be coming now that they're having the ability to like register those scores and keep them persistent and do all that stuff within a ROM. That might mean though that if you can add a flag in, can you pull a flag out? Maybe. Who knows? It's a lot of legwork. I'm not saying anything. I'm not promising anything. I'm just saying that it could be something that's kind of cool. You might want to hang out, take a look at it. I don't know. Maybe some Achievos or something like that, right? Okay. Not saying that they're going that way or whatever. I'm just saying, hey, it'd be kind of cool if they're able to put the things in. Maybe they can take the things out, right? All right, cool. So, other improvements. We've been making multiple improvements behind the scenes on our emulation, especially as we head into 2024. Many of the improvements we recently have made to new carts are now able to be rolled back onto previous carts as well. For example, we've done more work with accurate emulation of certain arcade chips. So we're going to go back and improve some of our previous releases that use the same chips. Another example of this is a gamma correction on 32-bit 3D titles. As these games were designed for a cathode ray tube or CRT television back in the late 90s, many of the game's environments on these titles still looks darker now in 2023 due to the lack of light and projection from the modern day flat screen TVs. we've been able to implement a gamma function directly into the emulator to compensate for these darker looking areas in affected games. That's pretty cool. All right. And some more stuff. Improvements to SRAM and save games. Static random access memory, or SRAM, is what many cartridge-based video games and retro hardware, including some arcade titles, used to save their games. When games within a built-in save feature are emulated, the SRAM is also emulated as well. 32-bit games that used external memory cards also fall into this category. On Evercade, these save to a, quote, virtual memory card on the cartridge rather than requiring a separate accessory. A save game within an emulated game, i.e. the game's own save feature rather than Evercade's save or quick save function, through pressing the menu button, will create an SRAM or virtual memory card save. To ensure the SRAM and virtual memory card saves are kept correctly, always open the Evercade menu and choose Quit when you've finished playing a game within a game system. If you turn off the system or remove the cartridge without having done this, you may lose your in-game saves. So that is something that actually will be in every single manual of every single game that has a battery save function from like the NES all the way forward. So like it's something that's been ingrained in my brain, for example, as I've lost many a save game to silliness of being a little kid. And then one example in particular that I'll get to after a restoration is done on a certain video game. More on that later. All right. To ensure these SRAM and virtual memory card saves are kept, we just literally read that. Okay, cool. SRAM and virtual memory card saves are different from a save state where you use the Evercade menu to do the save or quick save. This uses the Evercade firmware to create a snapshot or bookmark of where you are in the game to resume exactly where you left off, perhaps on a different device. All right, so then it gives you the thing like that. All right, so as you can imagine, having both options can cause issues within certain games and their emulation, particularly SRAM save and save states do not match. This can be linked to having multiple consoles running the same game, each with their own SRAM or memory card. So to clarify, save state uses the Evercade firmware menu to take a snapshot of your game, and SRAM save uses the save game and then the internal thing that creates the extra thing, right? The extra slot, right? In your game, always quit the game before shutting down your Evercade to ensure these are kept safely. We are working hard behind the scenes to address a few issues when it comes to the use of SRAM, as some of the new features we've been rolling out, like high scores, use SRAM or an equivalent SRAM or similar equivalent. What this means is games that we are updating will use this feature will no longer be compatible with the previous save states using the Evercade firmware. For example, the arcade games we are updating to automatically save high scores will no longer be compatible with the save states made by a previous version of the Evercade firmware. So that's the whole thing where they put that thing in up above, like, hey, you can't use load a previous save state and then expect the other thing to work. They're telling you that there's an incompatibility there. So, make sure that whatever you're going to do with your save games and all that kind of stuff, just make sure that you're looking in on, like whatever you wanted to be there. Just don't touch it with all the other new stuff and vice versa. All right, cool. Please make sure before you update the console, you always read the patch notes to see what affect your save games and take the appropriate actions. And then it says, hey, here's your stuff for Evercade EXP and Evercade VS. So I'm going to click the link. We're going to go to the patch notes for the Evercade EXP. Take a little quick look. New checks for card updates, automatic carts backup. So this is something that's interesting. Automatic cartridge backup restore option in case of update errors, which is kind of cool. That's really neat. Force patch cartridge option added to settings menu for manual cartridge patching, and then the turbo and fire stuff. Updated global optimizations, performance enhancements, various fixes to game artwork, fixed a game-breaking glitch in Legend of Wukong, which is cool. Maybe Crow will be happy about that. Fix a game crash for chain reaction while loading save states in Data East Arcade 1. Home Computer Heroes got an update. Fixed a soft locked issue while using R2 control with Planet X2. Full Void fixed some crash conditions. Good Boy Galaxy and Witch and Whiz got a whole bunch of stuff, looks like only for Good Boy Galaxy. Improve performance, improve enemy spawns, cutscene content. added cutscene content. That's pretty cool. And various bug fixes. Duke Nukem 1, huge updates. Look at that. Fixed incorrect collision detection for a helicopter enemy in Duke Nukem 1. Fixed the infinite score glitch related to the super force field mechanic in Duke Nukem 2. Fixed Duke Nukem 3D. Total meltdown, occasional save state issues with the Evercade VS. Added Gaussian sound interpolation into Duke Nukem 3D Total Meltdown. Improved performance of Duke 3D Total Meltdown. And cropped render space for the said affirmation game. I keep tripping over this, so I'm just going to keep reading. Perfect. So pixel perfect fills the screen much better, which is cool. Duke Nukem Collection 2 fixed an issue with Time to Kill and Land of the Babes. Save state issues. Fixed the overscreen graphical glitches in both games. Fixed all the HUD, sniper, and multiplayer HUD graphics for Land of the Babes. Fixed HUD placement in Land of the Babes. Improved performance of both Time to Kill and Land of the Babes. And the Gaussian sound interpolation into both games. And improved gamma control into Duke Nukem and Land of the Babes. They've been going... This patch notes is probably one of the longest ones I've seen. Games of Turbo Fire, they added the Turbo Fire games, there it is. And then high score beta stuff, and then that's it. That's the one for that. So we're going to go back and we're going to hit the VS patch notes just in case there's any kind of like, differences or whatever. Doesn't seem to be anything different there. And it looks like all of the game stuff is the same as well. Maybe nothing on the bottom of the list. No, nothing on the bottom of the list. So that's pretty cool, right? That is pretty neat stuff. I'm super happy about that. I'm super happy to hear and see all of that kind of stuff. But you know what? Let's dive in and check some stuff, right? I don't think I'm going to be good enough to get a high score so I can save it or anything. But maybe we can just hop in, put myself in a little box, and see what we got going on with these Turbo Fire buttons. Let's go. I also just wanted to show you real quick before I went into the game, Bubble Seahorse Adventure is still there. So that's after the update, which is cool. Cartridge update available. There's an update available for this cartridge to fix known issues and improve the gameplay experience. Do you want to wish to apply the update? Sure, yeah. Let's do it. Cartridge patching in progress. Okay. This is new, I think. I don't think I've seen like that kind of like thing. I think maybe it was like, hey, can update, or maybe just automatically did it or something like that. But now it's patching the cartridge. Wonder how long it's going to take. Or if it's going to take a really, really long time, and then it's like, oh no. Yeah, definitely don't do the thing, because as it's writing to the ROM, you definitely don't want to like unplug, move, take the cartridge out, whatever, that kind of thing. Hey, cartridge patch complete. Not bad. All right, so Twin Cobra is one of those ones that has the update, so we're going to go straight into Twin Cobra, and we're going to see. Still has some of my stuff. Played for 5 minutes that one time. All right. We haven't really dug into this, so this isn't in like fun for 5 kind of territory or any of that stuff. We're just gonna, putting some quarters in, and we're checking it out, right? All right, let's go. Okay, so I'm gonna hit buttons and see what happens. All right. All right, we got it, right? So now I'm hitting the regular button, right? Now it's turbo time. Whoops, as I die. So yeah, I'm holding the Y button, and it's really helping. I like it. There we go. This actually does make it a lot easier. I'm not going to lie. Instead of just having to jam on the button. Wow, I can't believe I just wafted my way in here. Very cool. Very cool. So just so you guys can see it. Oh well. There we go. Here's me hitting the button there as I die again. So there's that. And then if I just press and hold, there you go. Pretty cool. It works. Very, very cool. All right, so we'll just go over here to quit out, and there you go. If I had made a high score, I guess it would have saved it too. But I'm terrible at these games, so that's that. All right, let's go to the wrap up, I guess. Very, very cool and awesome. It's the kind of things that I think many in the Evercade community were asking for. I think it's many of the things that people were maybe expecting to happen have now started to happen. So I'm thinking things are going to be looking up for those old Blaze Entertainment guys and this Evercade thing. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments, and we'll chat about it and see what's going on. I'm sure we're going to talk about it on Evercast, of course. That's going to be a thing. But I just thought that this was such a big thing. I'm not going to wait till Saturday to talk about this, especially since I'm traveling and all that kind of stuff. And I'll probably forget a whole bunch of stuff that I thought about while I was reading this, which is the reason why I actually wanted to do this video in the first place. But man, that's really cool. I'm excited. And you know what? If this happens again, like say another 2 or 3 months goes down the line, hey, here's another huge firmware update to add all sorts of different more features. That'll make your gameplay experience better. Hooray! Hooray! It adds another bit of validity for Evercade owners to be like, hey, you know what? This makes sense. I bought this device and now it gets updated and I have hundreds of games that I could play and they're getting better. Boom. Very cool. Now all we need, of course, is those hints, right? So starting off at the end of January with this big hit, that's awesome, because then we get cartridges next month. We've got Indie Heroes 3 and C64 3 coming out, which is cool. So we're going to have that. We're going to be able to chew and marinate on that. And then, of course, right after that happens, what's going to happen. They're going to preview the next cartridge. The next cartridge set. So that's pretty cool. And then we'll probably get the roadmap, and then the next set of cartridges will come out, and we'll get those teased too. And then the whole cycle starts over again, which is awesome. But in this lull, it's not necessarily a lull, because those guys over in the engineering team must have been really hard at work, right? Because that's a huge update. And I think that's pretty cool stuff. So again, let me know down below. What do you guys think? Of course, sound off in the comments, leave the likes and the downs and whatever you guys want to do. But of course, it is also the end of a video here on Bacon Ice Cream Productions. You know what we have to do. We're going to thank those awesome members of the GTC, the Good Times Club. So let's thank them now. Let's thank the EverCanadian, Crimson Cross, George Games, Chris Westerman, Venom Fiction, Skeletrex, Lloyd Jim, Papa Pete, the Intellivision Gamer, Ken LeCure, Mr. Shua, John Willig, and Gunzy20. Thank you guys all so much for being members of the Good Times Club. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel, for allowing us to do 1080p StreamYard. It's been really awesome. Man, I'm so waiting to show you guys some really cool stuff that happened over at Studio B. We are like this close to being 100% done. I mean, it's always going to be a work in progress, so we're never going to be done, but still, it was so cool. It was cool, so cool to see a whole bunch of cool things that happened today. Maybe, if we've got time, just putting it out there too. This is being recorded at around 5 p.m. on the 23rd. Also on the 23rd, if we can get it done, maybe some card. I'm not going to promise anything. Just saying, maybe some card. Maybe we'll talk a little bit more about Studio B, that kind of thing. But awesome times. Anyway, production here. I'm running really short of time, so I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do more videos unless news breaks or that kind of stuff for the rest of the week. So I'm going to be out of town for the next couple of days, starting tomorrow night. So I will be back for the Evercast, but other than that, that's it might be it. But if it's not, then of course you'll see me and we'll have some cool things. I do definitely want to do a video while I'm away. because I'm going to be in the same place that something else happened the exact same time around that same time last year. So I think it would be cool to just kind of like do a little video there. So that will definitely come out. Other than that, who knows? I don't know. I was really hoping to be like, bam, 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 here's some Fun for Fives and all that kind of stuff, but life is just eating me. So we'll see. So anyway, until next time, we will catch you next time for some good times. I'm Rich, and we will see you later. Take it easy, guys, and yeah, go play some Evercade, right? See ya.
RTSC.baconicecream.com